Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you again this late afternoon, and sorry about that thunder. It's really raining where I'm at, and thundering and lightning and all that. It's really crazy right now, and I'm supposed to be working tomorrow, but I don't know if I am. I gotta wait and see. But still, getting back to subject, I'm returning to you for an album review, and this is for Parkway Drive's new album, Darker Still, that I just got done listening to for their studio album from their. I haven't really listened to most of their discography, to be honest, but I'm gonna definitely check them out for sure with their other albums for and see what I think of them, of course. So yeah, this is for Darker Still, the long-awaited album we've been waiting for since the summer of this year. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for this 11-track album by Parkway Drive, Darker Still, and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this album review. Now, basically, it starts with the first song, which is Ground Zero, and I think that's a really good start. Pretty much, it was one of my favorite songs from this album, and also another one is my favorite. There's quite a bit of favorites, honestly, but there's one song on here I have a little bit of a problem with. Um, but other than that, Ground Zero was an epic song. Winston McCall sounds really good screaming and doing his angry vocals and all that, so it sounds really good with how it's sounding overall. So 5 out of 5 for Ground Zero. I like the instrumentation in it, and just the way it starts off was very mellow vocals from Winston, but then it just went up with a bang, pretty much with his furious screamo vocals and all that. So 5 out of 5 for Ground Zero. Like Napalm is the next song, and that was a pretty excellent track. Another one of my favorites, honestly. Um, Pretty much there's a lot of favorites on this album that you're gonna like. For this album, like Napalm's pretty heavy, and basically you get really good breakdowns. Good, I wouldn't say breakdowns, but good drum work and guitar work, and also just Winston McCall screaming and all that sounds really good, and his angry vocals sound pretty good. So 5 out of 5 for like Napalm. I really enjoyed this track. It's a track I definitely come back to a lot. Glitch has grown on me a lot more than I thought. I wasn't sure if I was liking the rap stuff he was doing at the beginning, or the way he was singing the track at the beginning. It just threw me off at first when I first listened to it back in June, but it has grown on me a lot more, and I really love this song now. I thought I wasn't gonna really like this song at the time, but my opinion can change over time after listening to it more. Uh, this song more and other songs that may potentially be my favorites. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for Glitch. I really like how it's sounding overall. Winston McCall does weird vocal pitches at the verses of the track, but I think it works with how the song is sounding overall, so it does pretty good. And I like the let me out part, the let me the fuck out lyric, and it just, he goes hard with, the song goes hard at that part with the breakdown. The Greatest Fear is the next song. That was a really good track. Really enjoyed it. It was the second single when they announced their album Darker Still, and it was a pretty good single. I really like how it's sounding, drum wise, guitar wise, and just Winston McCall screaming in it is good. There's a lot of screamo stuff with Winston McCall in this track. With how he's singing and screaming the track, it really does well with the verses, honestly. I like the verses of the track, and the chorus is pretty memorable too. So 5 out of 5 for The Greatest Fear. Darker Still is like a 7-minute song, or almost 7-minute song, but it's more melodic, and you get a few screams from time to time with Winston McCall screaming, but Um, the track is very mellow for sure, and he does clean singing through most of this track, and it sounds really nice for sure. I'm really liking this song, so 5 out of 5 for Darker Still. Like the melody and the tone of the track too. Imperial Heretic was a banger of a song. I really love this track. Um, I didn't. I like the guitar solo, pretty much the ow no 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 kind of thing. It sounds pretty good. With how it's sounding overall, and basically Winston McCall sounds really good screaming wise in this track, and vocally he's doing pretty well with this song. So 5 out of 5 for Imperial Heretic. If a God Can Bleed is my least favorite. I am not liking how it's sounding overall. It's a solid track, but it's got its problems honestly, and it's letting me know to update my laptop. I'm probably gonna have to do it later. Honestly, I'm gonna shut it down probably later tonight or so. But still, if a God Can Bleed, the tone of the track is a little weird, and just basically the execution didn't execute too well, but in its own way, it's a little creative, but has its slight problems. So 4.5 out of 5 for this one. Soul Bleach was a pretty amazing song. Really like how it's sounding overall. He screams poison at the beginning of it, and it's really good. And I really like how it's sounding, so 5 out of 5 for this one. Stranger's just an interlude to the next song, Land of the Lost, so it's just he sings stranger in a strange world or whatever. Or he says stranger in a strange world or something like that. It's weird. It's a weird track and very unsettling at times, but it works with what it's going for, so 5 out of 5. Land of the Lost is a pretty good track, and I really like this song with how it sounds overall, and the execution's pretty well done. So 5 out of 5 for Land of the Lost. I really like how it's sounding, and just basically the drum work and guitar work is really good in this track, and Winston's screaming and singing in it is pretty good. Finally, we get to the last track from The Heart of the Darkness. Pretty good song. Wasn't sure if I was gonna really like this track at first, but it has grown on me a lot more than I thought. I had to really listen to this track to see if this is a song that would be potentially my favorite, and it is, for sure. So, yeah, 5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution, I think I would have to downgrade If a God Can Bleed to like a 3.5, only because it has some problems. It's an average song, but it does have its problems, for sure. So, yeah, overall, production, mixing, and execution, I just wanted to mention that nitpick about what I was going to downgrade. And yeah, If a God Can Bleed is getting a 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was a song that I would grow to like, but it's weird, honestly. It's not gonna be everyone's favorite song on this album. So overall, I think Parkway Drive Darker Still, production, mixing, and execution was pretty good. I was really impressed with this. It's a very cohesive record, cohesive album, and they stuck to what they wanted to do with this album. The only track, If a God Can Bleed, is the least favorite on this, in my opinion, but everything else is really good, for sure. So, first score for me, I'm giving Parkway Drive's Darker Still album an 8.5 out of 10. So, it's a pretty good listen. Definitely recommend checking this album out for this Friday's releases. That's coming up tomorrow, of course, or this album's coming out at midnight, so definitely check this out for your streaming platforms on wherever you stream it at and all that. So, with that being said, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the new Parkway Drive album, Darker Still, if you've heard this album. And if you enjoyed this album review I did for you guys this late afternoon, going into evening time in a moment, going into early evening time, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I will have another review coming out for a track review. I think I got done with pretty much all the albums. Unless Paramore drops a surprising new album tomorrow, then it's probably going to be a single, honestly. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'll wait and see what happens. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this album review for Parkway Drive's new album, Darker Still, and it's raining really bad where I'm at, so I better end this video, because it's been messing up. Not the video, but I think the weather's been acting up where we've had power outages. So, yeah, it's ridiculous, but I'm gonna wrap it up here by saying thank you so much for watching the Parkway Drive Darker Still album review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, take care, guys, and as always, I will see you in my next review.